Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Mike Flair, coming back at you. I was looking at some stuff while I was in class the other day, and I seen something on CNBC. I'm going to pull it up real quick. It says the top 10 or top most regretted college majors. Now, as you can see, journalism has an 87%. The people that took this poll said journalism is a regrettable major. The thing that I could see from my perspective is if you don't know the path, what it takes to be a journalist, probably not the most or the best major to take unless that's what you have a passion for. That's what you want to do, is be a journalist. But how do you even get in the field to be a journalist? That's the question. If you can't answer that question, this is probably not a major that you want to take. Sociology, another major. What is sociology? Let's look that up real fast. So, sociology examines the organization, structure, and change of social groups and institutions. So, do you want to study people, cultures, and groups? Are you into that? What field is that in? Is that more in the medical field, or is that more in the, human services field? Like, let's look up the salary for look up jobs for sociology. Top 10 jobs you can get with a sociology degree. Learning and development specialist. Salary range 49 to 89. That's a big salary range. And it says average salary is $65,000. I think that depends on what city you're in. I don't know about here, maybe. If you got to be probably one of the top ones. You can't be you won't get that being average. You probably got to be like one of the in the top 10 or something like that. You probably not gonna get that as just graduating. You'll probably start more in that 49 range or something like that once you graduate. Social worker, average salary 51,000, but the salary range is from 37 to 72. Depends on where you work. That is hard to get to that 72. That's the top end. You've been in the game for a while. So think about that, being in the game for a while. HR coordinator, that's kind of could be more of a realistic kind of situation. Average salary 50,000. Salary range is 39 to 65. And here's the thing, if that's the top of the range, 65, something to think about is, do I really want to major in this if the top of the range is 65? Paralegal. Think this you work for a lawyer? Yeah, helping lawyers prepare for trials and, drafting up documents and stuff like that, evidence, facts and stuff like that. Starting range, salary range from 37 to 74. Average salary 51,000. The question is, are you really into that? Finding information and finding facts and finding out how to break the case? Like, you're the lawyer's eyes and ears, so he can have this prepared when he go in the courtroom and he can defend in the court, but he need your information. Are you okay with that? Because if you're not accurate with your information and that lawyer goes in there and can't defend, it's probably going to be a crazy conversation when he get out that courtroom. So something to think about. Urban planner, average salary 61,248. Salary range 46 to 90. That's a big salary range. 46 to 90,000. That means you got to be in that position for a while before you even see. Even if you can get to that 90, you really got to have that skill set, education, communication, and mindset, not just a degree. Urban planners help shape what communities look like. They are responsible for developing short and long-term solutions to improve infrastructure and revitalize areas based on the community's needs. This can include planning new parks, buildings, streets, and neighborhoods. So I'm thinking maybe you work for a city or a county, and the chances, I guess it depends on where you at, of you getting 60, that's the average salary, but it's not entry level or the starting salary. So you may start at that 46 range. And I guess if you be there for maybe 5-10 years, maybe you get up to 61. But the chances of starting out at 61, unless you can negotiate, but most jobs for the city and county, they have an entry level baseline salary, and they actually tell you up front, this is what this job pays. Community health worker, average salary $42,116. Salary range $33,000 to $53,000. Guys, that's a big range, but it's not the top end. It's not that big. 53 is what you top out at. That's something to think about. Do you want to go into that field? That's some people 53,000 is a lot, but I'm telling you, the next few years, 53,000 is going to be probably the median, the average salary, just to make it through inflation. So the next one is liberal arts and general studies. Now, I'm going to tell you from my experience. When I went to Pulaski Tech, I got an Associate of Science, and this was in my late 20s. And the Associate of Science, I actually didn't think about it. I think I just kind of bypassed it, but you didn't have to take all of the core classes. I think you had to take English classes. You had to take communications, but you didn't have to take science. Yeah, you didn't have to take science class, stuff like that. If I could do it over again, I would have took all of my core classes, all of them, at Pulaski Tech, and would have saved the money and took them there. Because when I tried it, when I was getting ready to go back to Euler, I went the first time, they said that, hey, you can just take this and go get a liberal arts degree and you'll be fine. But when I really looked at it, I was like, what is the concentration, or what is it's almost like a universal degree, just to say you graduated. In my opinion, that's what it is. If somebody else can tell me in the comments what's a liberal arts degree, I'm open to hear that. But to me, it seems like it's just a degree when you're just tired, you didn't went to school, you kind of just want to get out of there, and they just throw a bunch of classes together and say you got liberal arts or general studies. But I don't know, in the job market, how can you negotiate that? But some people probably can, but I haven't seen it. Communications. Communications is kind of, if you know the path you're going, I've seen people with communications, but most people that have communications degree, they really go and get a master's degree or a PhD in order to really be like in communications director or manager or something like that. Marketing, but I don't think the bachelor's degree is the end all be all. I think you have to go a little bit further, like get a master's or MED or something like that in communications or something like that, in order to maximize a communications major. Education is another one. To maximize, from what I see, in my opinion, to maximize an education major, you have to at least get a master's degree in education, a higher education, I think is what they call it. If you just get a bachelor's degree in education, maybe you can teach at the elementary level, maybe high school, but to teach at a college level or to move, be a professor or a distinguished professor, you have to have at least a master's degree, and to be distinguished, I think you gotta have a PhD. You gotta be a doctor, have a doctorate degree in education or something like this. So that's something to think about. A bachelor's degree in education is just the start of the path, but it's not the finish of the path. Most principals you see either have a master's or a PhD. Most principals you see have a master's or PhD, and most of them are PhD level education. So that's something to think about. Marketing, management, and research. Unless you already have like a plug-in on how to get to that path, that's a hard degree to really major in and really find a job in. Especially, this is not Little Rock is not a big city like that. I'm pretty sure there are jobs and there are places for it, but you have to know what path to get to that point where you can maximize that major. And that's what I would say. Learn how to find the path before you pick this major. How can I maximize this? Like, am I good at marketing? Because if you're good at marketing and management research, all that, then you can take that degree and run with it. But if you're just doing it just to say, I just want to do it and get out of school, that's not the attitude to have. And that's why you'll regret taking that major. Medical and clinical assisting. My opinion, working in the medical field really, it depends on what section you're in. But I could see that being like, that's like the mid-range of the salary range, maybe 40s and 50s. You're not going to get a lot of money in doing medical and clinical assisting, but sometimes they push that degree. But what I would say, I would think about nursing, even though it's a little bit more rigorous, but the reward is better and the payout as far as salary where you can take care of yourself is better. That's what I would think about if you're going into the medical field. Being in nursing, if you don't want to be a doctor, you don't want to be a pharmacist, I would do that more so than do medical, clinical, and assisting. That's just my opinion. If anybody can let me know about that, even we can interview you, medical assisting and clinic, let us know in the comments. Political science and government. If you're not going into politics, if you're not trying to be in an office or really get into that, what is the point of you taking political science and government? Okay, some people would take it because it's easy. They can deem it to be easy. The work's not that much, and it's just a bunch of writing papers and research. But if you're not trying to maximize in that field, don't go into that field. That's what I would tell you. If you don't want to run for mayor, you don't want to be a public servant, you don't want to be, run for the House or be a representative, don't go into political science and government, because it's hard to maximize those degrees in the corporate world, because you're not majoring in nothing in the corporate world unless you're trying to be like a executive, but you got to be plugged in to do that. You just don't fill out an application to be a CEO or nothing like that. That's something that they come and recruit you. So biology, I don't even know what you would do if you was biology unless you're trying to be like a pharmacist or something like that. Let's look that up. Biology major jobs. So, research biologists, I'm seeing a lot of. They saying the average salary, I see 179 biological scientists, biologists, and then zoologists. But I'm pretty sure in order to get there, though, you probably have to be like, there's a percentile, like you got to be like at the top, the best of the best almost to get that kind of salary, 79,000. Let's look at this. Jobs for biology majors. Yep. Provides a great option for learners interested in studying the natural world. Biology degrees open the door to careers in areas like teaching, research, and medicine. So, if you don't want to work in the medical field or you don't want to teach and be a professor or something like that, that's probably not the field you want to go into, or work at a zoo or something like that. Work with animals maybe, something like that. They don't take stuff just to say, oh man, I got a degree. That don't work. English language plus literature. If you don't want to be a professor, if you don't want to be an English teacher, if you don't want to do those things, an English degree is going to be tough to sell that in the corporate world. Let's say if you get there and you say, you know what, I just want to go work in the corporate world, you're probably going to have to go back to school for something else now. Most people that probably got English, they probably have a master's degree in English or a PhD, and they become a distinguished professor, or they gotta have a high ranking teacher or something like that. But that does not translate in the corporate world. If you're trying to go work at a company or something like that, unless you have the skill set and you can sell that along with having an English degree, but you really gotta have that car salesman kind of market employee in order to make that happen. So, with that being said, let me know in the comments, what are some of the majors out there that's regrettable, like people shouldn't take? Like for me, I majored in computer information systems networking, working with routers and switches. That was a good field. The thing that I ran into being in Little Rock is there are not a lot of ISP companies in Little Rock. There are only a few. And the places I work, I just didn't too much care for the atmosphere, and I didn't want to be in that for a long time. So it kind of gave me exposure to really before I went back to school, what I wanted to do. And that's why when I went back for the 4 year, I majored in web development, because not only can I do that as a side hustle, as an entrepreneur, I can also work for a company and be a web developer as well. And I actually work for a college as well as a back-end web developer with PHP. So, and it's an awesome job. Anything in IT is an awesome job. Like if you're starting out in IT, you literally can work in help desk and you can work your way up into different fields. Start out at help desk and then see the different fields. Like there's systems, you have programming, you have the networks, network engineering, the firewall team, you have wireless. Sometimes you have all separated networks, firewall, routers. Sometimes systems, you got the systems with accounts, Active Directory. Now they're using Google Suite. You can be a Google admin and manage accounts on Google. Pretty much that's what we was doing at the college. Back-end services, programming, you got database, you got web development, and then you have applications and programs you kind of keep up with. There's all kind of things in IT, and they only need more people all the time. So, and that's me. That's what I picked, IT, the field of IT. So I can give you more about IT than probably what you want to hear. But with that being said, this is the regrettable majors. Let me know in the comments if you have any majors that's regrettable or some of these majors are misunderstood. This is Mike. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching.